Every year, people talk about applying to Canada for studies and getting rejections. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some of the hard truths that nobody really talks about before applying for their visas. And I'm hoping that you can learn a thing or two from this video. The number one reason why your visa to Canada is getting denied is the proof of fund illusion. You want to apply for a visa and someone just dumps in 30 million, 100 million, 50 million into your bank statement, and you go present the bank statement. Now that's a red flag. It's going to be a red flag because that's a huge sum to dump as one. The visa officer will look at how your statement has been. If you've never received 1 million naira in your account before, and all of a sudden you're getting 30 million, that's a red flag. So they're gonna flag that as an anomaly because that's usually not what you get. Like the trend of your bank statement doesn't show that you've received something like that before. So it's a red flag. So what do you do? Canada doesn't just care about the amount you're bringing or the amount you're showing. They care about the source. So let's say you have that lump sum of money. You have to explain that I have another bank statement somewhere where this money was moved from. That statement is maybe my investment account statement or something like that. So when you're applying, you're showing that other statement where the money moved from and say, okay, this 30 million was moved to this account on this date. In that case, you're showing both account statements for the sake of transparency. So let's talk again about sponsors. While you might have a sponsor or a distant uncle to, give you the money or show their bank statements, you also have to prove that the money that your uncle is giving you or putting in your bank statements is going to be in your account. You also have to prove relationship with the person. So there's a lot that goes in with that. The person has to prove that, they are genuinely giving you that money to support your education. So there's a lot of audit trail and, things you need to prove. The person has to show the source of that money as well. And also maybe write a letter to say, hey, this person is my niece, my nephew, and I have been in their life for some time, and this is why I'm sponsoring them for this education. If the uncle or auntie has been doing similar things for you and your family before, maybe they've been sending you money and all of that, you need to just show some of that to the visa officer to show that, this person is genuine. So the visa officer needs to be sure that you see that money that they're giving to you, it's actually going to be yours to use. Number two hard truth is the illogical career progression. What does that mean? You read accounting. All of a sudden, you want to go and do a master's in health or mechanical engineering. How does that translate to your career? How does that translate to your career progress? Or you go for a course that is cheaper or below what you would normally, have. How does that translate? If you've had a bachelor's in a course and now you're going for a diploma in a course that is around the same line, maybe a diploma in accounting in Canada, you already have a bachelor's in accounting in Nigeria. It doesn't tie in because normally a bachelor's is higher than a diploma, so it doesn't tie, you know. So those are some of the things that you examine. Fine, the tuition fee for a diploma might be cheaper, but you really need to explain why you're going for it. You know, choosing the wrong course can get you kicked out. You need to show that this course you're going for supports your future goals. How has your career progression been so far, and how does it support your future goals? This takes me to point number three, which is talking about the home ties point. If you're going for studies in Canada, you have to show that you will go back to your country after your studies. Study visa, visitor's visa, work permit, they are all temporary visas to Canada. You're a temporary resident. So you have to show that you have home ties to your country that will take you back to your country. So that could be family, it could be a business, it could be maybe investments and all of that. You need to really show that you're going to go back. It could be that you have children, you have a spouse waiting for you. You just need to think outside the box and show things, maybe investments land, your siblings, your parents. Proof of ties is very important. Out of desperation, a lot of people go outside to look for help. And that brings me to the fourth point that talks about agent trap. Some of our people don't like to do the work, they don't want to do research, and at the end of the day, they fall into the trap of agents who end up forging documents for them. The truth is, if you use any forged document to apply for anything, it could lead you to a ban completely from Canada for at least 5 years. And you don't want that to show in your record because once Canada bans you that long, it affects UK, it affects New Zealand, it affects Australia, I think also the US as well. You don't want that in your file. So always make sure and beware of these agents, these shady agents. Like I said earlier in my last video, everything about Canada is very transparent. You can go online and just try and do your research. Just Google certain things. If an agent tells you that they have a license, tell them to give you their name and their license number. Go to the website to verify the licensed agents in Canada. So you can verify these things online. It's not hidden anywhere. So be very careful of shady agents. Now to point number 5, statement of purpose. When you're applying for your Canadian study visa, you need to submit a statement of purpose. The statement of purpose addresses things like why you're going for the course, why Canada, why the school, why can't you go for a similar course in Nigeria. The reason for your statement of purpose is because Canada doesn't do an in-person interview. So you just submit your documents, submit your statement of purpose, and that is what the visa officer reads to assess your application. So you want to make it seem like you're defending yourself, the reason why you have to be in Canada. Don't go and copy and paste from ChatGPT. Just pretty much sit down and think about your motivation. For instance, something that I put in my SOP, just one thing I just wanted to share is the fact that the course I'm going for, the duration is this long, and in Nigeria it could take longer because of ASU strike. I said since 1999, ASU has gone on strike for a cumulative of 4 years within that period. So that would show that it will delay your degree, so you don't want an unstable environment, something like that. You can just put it in your SOP and explain that this is why you're going to Canada for the course. It should be something that when someone reads it, it feels heartfelt. So put some effort into it. Don't just go and copy and paste from ChatGPT. Sixth thing I want to talk about is previous refusals. Don't lie. People lie about previous visa refusals. All of these countries, they share information with one another. So when you lie, it just shows misrepresentation. They share immigration data. The US, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand, and Canada, they share immigration data with each other. So if you lie, it's going to reflect. If you've been denied a visa before from any of those countries, state it there that yes, you have been denied. They will ask why. Maybe, maybe not. You can just explain what happened or what went wrong. Just show that you're truthful. If they see that you lied, it can be, you know, a misrepresentation and you could be banned for that. So make sure that that captures it. You don't need to be scared about your previous refusal. Finally, a lot of people are operating based on outdated information. Canada's immigration has changed a lot drastically from 2024 up until dates. Some people are still operating with the knowledge of, say, maybe 2018, and it's not right. Okay, you don't want to operate on outdated information. You're just gonna get yourself into a lot of trouble. They introduce caps on the number of international students. They have courses that are being prioritized. So, right now, if you're not doing a bachelor's, master's, or PhD, for example, you cannot bring your spouse to Canada. If you're doing other programs, say a diploma in or postgraduate diploma in a college, you cannot bring your spouse or family to Canada. You can only do that with if you're studying for a bachelor's, a master's degree, or a PhD degree. So a lot of things have changed. The proof of fund right now has increased to about $22,000 as well, like your living expenses. it used to be like 10,000 around 2023 or so. Up until 2024, it changed to 20,000 and now it's 22,000 Canadian dollars. So you have to make sure you are up to date. You don't want to submit, a form that has a lot of mistakes or errors. It's a very costly mistake to make. So make sure that you're up to date with information. In conclusion, you have to try to treat your Canadian study application with all seriousness it deserves. Don't leave everything to somebody to do for you. Make sure that you're carried along in the process. Show genuine finances and the source of finance. Your study plan, have a study plan. Take ownership of your application and your immigration journey. If you found this video helpful, click on the like button, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be sharing more from my personal experience. Also, leave a comment if you have your questions. Please do ask your question. Most of the things that I share on my channel are from my own personal experience and knowledge. I am not an immigration consultant. I am not an agent. So always verify whatever information that you want to verify from your licensed immigration consultant. I hope my video blessed you. Until next time, stay smart, stay prepared, stay informed, and do not fall for fraudulent people. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.